The rise and restructuring of OpenAI, a reckoning in real time. In November 2023, OpenAI's board of directors removed Sam Altman from his position as CEO. 5 days later, he was reinstated. The company that promised to build artificial general intelligence for the benefit of all humanity had just executed a palace coup, and then reversed it almost immediately. This wasn't a failure. It was a warning. And OpenAI didn't heed it. December 2015. A living room in San Francisco. Sam Altman and Elon Musk, along with 9 other co-founders including Ilya Sutskever and Brockman, announced OpenAI. Their founding charter was explicit: ensure that AGI, artificial general intelligence, meaning AI as smart as humans, benefits all of humanity. They pledged $1 billion in capital. The pitch was noble. The execution was fragmented. By 2019, only $130 million had actually been received. But the mission didn't require unlimited capital at first. It required conviction. OpenAI's founding statement was a manifesto against the exact trajectory they would later follow. They wrote that AI should be an extension of individual human wills and as broadly and evenly distributed as possible. They planned to make patents and research publicly available. They were explicit about the risks, how much it could damage society if built or used incorrectly. Then came November 2022. ChatGPT. A product that did something no company had done before, made artificial intelligence accessible to ordinary people. Not researchers. Not corporations. Regular humans typing into a chatbot. Within 2 months, it reached 100 million users. It was the fastest adoption curve in consumer technology history. Microsoft saw what was happening. In January 2023, the company invested $10 billion into OpenAI. By 2024, that figure had grown to over $13 billion. Microsoft wasn't funding a nonprofit with an open research mission anymore. They were building a stake in a product-driven company. The for-profit subsidiary that had been created in 2019 was now the center of gravity. The non-profit charter was becoming decorative. The lawsuits started in 2023. Authors. Media companies. New York Times. They sued over copyright infringement, claiming OpenAI had trained ChatGPT on their work without permission or compensation. The argument was direct. OpenAI built a $500 billion company on the creative labor of others. The company that promised to benefit humanity was extracting value from humanity's creators. And then there was the board meeting in November 2023. Sam Altman removed. The official reason: lack of confidence. The real reason was never fully disclosed. The board members, Ilya Sutskever, Helen Toner, and others, apparently had concerns about Altman's leadership direction. But within 96 hours, the board was restructured. Altman was back. The message was clear: growth and deployment mattered more than governance and caution. Here's what the timeline actually reveals. OpenAI's founding promise and its operational reality had already diverged by 2019, for years before ChatGPT even launched. The moment they created a for-profit subsidiary, they created an incentive structure that contradicted their mission statement. A non-profit governed by a board can prioritize safety and long-term benefit. A for-profit subsidiary answers to investors and market pressures. But the real inflection point came in 2024. As ChatGPT generated billions in revenue, roughly half of OpenAI's AI safety researchers left the company. Not in ones and twos. Half. The researchers cited deprioritization of safety goals. Let that number sit. 50% of the team whose entire job was to prevent catastrophic outcomes departed because the company stopped prioritizing their work. This wasn't incompetence. It was intentional reallocation. Safety research doesn't generate quarterly returns. Deploying larger, more capable models does. The founding mission, to ensure AGI benefits all of humanity, required an institution willing to say no to profits. By 2024, OpenAI had become an institution that said yes to every growth opportunity and outsourced the ethical questions. In October 2025, OpenAI conducted a $6.6 billion share sale that valued the company at $500 billion. The nonprofit owns 26% of the for-profit subsidiary. The structure is now a Gordian knot of competing incentives. The nonprofit can theoretically ensure safety, but it holds minority stake in a corporation that answers to investors, Microsoft, and markets that reward deployment over caution. OpenAI's story isn't about a company that failed. It's about what happens when an institution's stated mission and its financial structure are in direct conflict. You can write noble founding documents. You can pledge $1 billion to AI safety. You can build a technology that changes the world. But the moment you separate the nonprofit mission from the for-profit revenue engine, you've created a mechanism that will consistently deprioritize the mission when it conflicts with growth. The November 2023 board removal wasn't a failure of governance. It was governance working exactly as intended, removing the only force that might have slowed deployment. The reinstatement 5 days later proved it. The market had spoken. Altman understood that message. The safety researchers understood it too. That's why half of them left. OpenAI will likely achieve artificial general intelligence, or something close to it. But the institution that gets there won't be the one that promised to benefit all of humanity. It'll be the one that chose investors over caution, growth over safety, and quarterly results over existential questions. The structure was the strategy. And the strategy worked perfectly, just not for the mission.